In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the toe of a sock, which the toes actually work the same way the heel is. For this pattern, there's just a slight difference that I will be doing in just making the toe a little smaller than what the heel would be. So what we're going to do is I work the toe on half the loom just like I do the sock. I'm going to E-wrap back to my first peg, actually it's the peg right before the first peg. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the loop on the peg off, take my working yarn, which I'm using 2 strands. I want to take both strands in behind that peg, and then take that working yarn and put back on the peg. At this point, I'm going to take all of the stitches off so that every single peg except for that first peg will have only one strand or one loop on it, which this one, as soon as we go to do our next row, see it puts a second loop on it and it'll be underneath. Alright, so push all your yarn down. At this point we will E-wrap to the peg before the last peg of the heel. Which, here we are. Going to take that off the peg, take the working yarn behind. I've seen videos where they just wrap the working yarn above the peg, and honestly, I haven't tried it that way to see the difference, but I know just visually I can look and tell how this was done, and I don't lose track of where I'm at. So that is why I'm doing it this way versus just wrapping the yarn around the top of the peg. That way I don't have to worry about counting. I just go until I see what stitch I'm on. Okay, we're going to push all that down. We're going to go back to that first peg again, towards that first peg. We'll just say it that way. So we E-wrap all the way till we get to one peg. Oh, I got one more to wrap. See, this was that first one that I had decreased on. So I'm going to do the very next one. And we are going to do that until we've got 6 empty pegs in the middle, which gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'll have 5 loops on each side. Now this is the point that you can adjust if you need to. If you have a narrower, if your feet are narrow and your toes point a little more, then you can actually bring it in to where there's just 4 pegs in between that aren't doubled, which would give you 6 with loops on it on each side. If you have very wide feet, you can even bring it out to where there's only 4 loops on each side. So this part of it is really nice because you can completely customize the toe for the person you're making the socks or slippers or footies for. So what we're going to do is you're just going to keep going back and forth just to the peg right before it, which I'll show you one more time just to make sure you got it. Alright. E-wrap. Oops. To one peg. This was the peg with the decrease on it that we already done. So we're going to take that next one off, put the yarn behind, put the loop back on. I'll get it. There we go. And then take the bottoms over the tops all the way back to the other side. Now you're going to go back and forth until you've gotten 5 pegs on each side with the double loops on it. After you've done your decrease, you're going to notice this is kind of, instead of going down in, it's a bit flat now. And you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side with double. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And we've already got it underneath this one. We just haven't wrapped back. So that will be your 5th one on that side. So now all you do is your increase. Which all the increase is you E-wrap to your first double peg. It's the first one with 2 sets of loops on it. Actually 3 altogether, but you take the bottom over the top. And you go back to the other side. Push those down. And then you E-wrap back the opposite direction to your first double peg. Oops, sorry. You're going to do this. Now you're going to go back and forth, getting your just the very next double peg that you come to until every single peg on the loom has just 1 loop on it. I'll show you one more time. See, we wrapped all the way down. This was the first one we came to. We'll get that one, then we'll wrap all the way back. This will be the first one we'll come to. We'll get it, and we're just going to go back. So just like your heel did, this is going to be looking just about the same. You're going to be able to see the bump in the bottom, and you'll be able to tell on the inside. At this point, what you want to do is wrap your working yarn. Do 3 times around the loom. Should be fine. And then cut. Now to tie up, not tie up, well just to sew up the toe of this, what we're going to be doing is just basically folding it in half. So here, to do this, you can see it's coming from right here. And go over to the one beside it. And then take that off. Go back to this first one and take that off. We're just going to weave back and forth until we get to that last peg. Once you're at that very last peg, still do the same. Just pull the working yarn through it, and then you can take the entire thing off the loom. You'll see it's already started, but here's the little magic trick. You just pull that string. I pull it kind of tight and then loosen it back up. And there you go, your toe is done. As you can see, this one tapers in a good bit. It's more of a pointier toe, but of course you can adjust that however you need to. At this point, I'm going to pull that string on the inside, weave it through, tie it off, and then do the same with that string up at the top. And your footy is done, or your slipper, whatever you want to call it. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this pattern. Thank you so much for watching. Any comments or questions, please leave in the description below. And don't forget to, in the comment section below, sorry. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.